Hello everybody, welcome aboard today's flight from Berlin down to Marseille. Shouldn't be a massively long flight, about 1 hour 54 in the air according to all of the flight plans, and we're going to be taking off on runway 25 right out of Berlin and coming into runway 31 right into Marseille. As we head out of Berlin, we're going to be using the Logdo SID. The SID is the route out of the airport that we're going to follow, and the Star, our standard arrival into Marseille, we're going to use the Bolsi arrival, Bolsi 1D, I believe, and that should bring us in onto runway 31. A little bit of wind on the ground, so that'll be interesting. Let's just check in on the cockpit. Let's just check in on the cockpit. So yeah, as you can see, a little bit of wind on the ground in Marseille, 220 and 15. Slightly less on the ground here in Berlin, 160 and 11. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Definitely keep an eye on that. That's the sort of thing that doesn't seem like much, but equally is enough that it can catch you out, if that makes sense. So we'll keep an eye on that while we're en route and just sort of prepare ourselves. There might be a go around. Morning everyone. Morning Jalise. I must confess I forgot to schedule the stream last night, so I had to schedule it in a hurry this morning. I apologise about that. Morning Villiers, how you doing? Yes, this is the fly-by-wire version, quite right. Fly-by-wire indeed. Right, we need to get things fired up because we are cold and dark. Righty-ho. Let's get up and look at our top bit here. So all I've done so far before the stream was literally turn the batteries on and do the external power. So we're powered up, batteries on, external power. That's all fine. Let's get our nav and logo lights on, and we'll do the APU master and APU start. And then we sort of hang around and wait for the APU start to turn into available, at which point we can do the APU bleed. In the meantime, we can do the nav, 1, 2 and 3. The plane is fueled, that's all been taken care of. So we'll just wait for that APU start. You might have noticed that content's been a bit thin on the ground this weekend. I do have a reason. For that. I've been working on a little bit of a rebrand for the channel. Figure it's been a year now since we've been doing this, and while what we have has served us well in terms of like the logo on the channel and all that stuff, the livery, feel like it's time to take it up a gear just a little bit. Okie dokie, APU now is available, so we'll go for APU bleed. So we're now running off the power of the APU, which means in a moment we can turn off the external power because that's no longer required. There we go, that's off. And we can do our fuel pumps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Oxygen crew supply, arm the emergency light switches and turn on no smoking because it's not 1994. And we're just checking on these panels here, any white lights, just sort of working my way, scanning through each one by one, and I cannot see any, so that's good. That's good. Right, let's get ourselves a flight plan. Okay, first things first, we'll go to the ATSU menu, AOC menu, init, and we'll do init data request. So that will connect to SimBrief, because the plane knows my SimBrief details. And it's pulled in the flight plan that I made in SimBrief. Estimated time in the air, 1:54. Good. Then we go to the init page and we do a init request. And we go to the next page, pull in our 0 fuel weight and central gravity and our fuel. And the performance page, we'll use flaps 1 today. Now, based on all of that, because these boxes are orange, that means that the plane is able to calculate the values that's going to go in them. So if we click V1, you get 133 down here. Click it again, it fills it in. So we need to be at 134 knots for V, 133 knots for V1, 134 rotation, and V2 is 138. That all makes sense. That's good. That is good. Transition today is 5,000. That seems low, but okay. I'll go with it. Right, EDDB, that's us. Departure 25 right. And of course, of course, the SID that we want is not available. How weird is that? It must be that the plane is out of date with what SimBrief has, perhaps. That's possible. Let's just zoom ourselves out then and have a little look. Maybe we just leave it as it is because I think we're better just to leave that alone. Why is it not available? That's a good question, Jalise. So the flight plan was made with SimBrief, which is all part of Navigraph, and I don't have a Navigraph sub, so perhaps that's why. Maybe if I did, the plane would have more up-to-date data. So obviously all this stuff changes, it's always in flux, so that's potentially why. Let's try the arrival, see if we have any luck there. 3-1 right. Okay, that's interesting. So I've got, my plan says I want bowl C 1D and it's giving me 1 right. Just consult with the chart, see if there's a via that we should be using to get us in on the runway. Seeing anything particularly useful, not gonna lie. That's Surag, Salin, no. Ah. Okay, maybe we just won't do one. We'll see what it does. So we'll take off and then we'll head to Logdo, which is part of our plan. Start making our way south. So this is where our flight plan comes. So that's okay. We can just join. We can just clear that discontinuity, and it should join the dots for us. Because that sort of feels like it's on the way, doesn't it? Come on. Yes. There we go. Then straight in on runway 3-1. 1-3. Wait, what? Oh, I pressed the wrong runway. That's why. Three, one, right. Localizer. ILS 3-1 right. Let's try that. C1D. Thank you very much. Right, now let's have a look. I think we'll leave that as it is. We will let autopilot disconnect at this point, and we will come along and do a little U-turn, sort of box ourselves off and come in. I think if I was to clear the discontinuity to join these two dots, it'd be quite likely that the plane would sort of join us and turn us like straight into the runway, which is obviously not what we want at all, because we need that way in. Let's leave it at that. That works. That works. Let's go back to arc. There we go. Right, flight directors are on. What's local pressure? Oh, that's bright. 995. There we go, 995. Let's just check on our way out. Straight up to flight level 370. No restrictions. That's what we like. No messing around. No messing. Oh, my coffee's gone cold. That is a shame. Right, do that. Up the door. Standby. Alternate standby. So I've got the new pushback tool. So we'll give that a try today. We will see how that goes. I gave it a little try earlier and I was quite impressed. I think I made a couple of mistakes. But hopefully it'll be better now. Maybe. Right, let's get the jet bridge on its way. Okay, seatbelt lights, beacon, APU bleed is on, external power is off, windows are closed, parking brake is on. Which one did we get? I got this one, the toolbar pushback thingy. Right, let's pre-plan our pushback. And we will push ourselves back to here. Ah. Oh no, now it's gone. That's what I was afraid of. Right, hopefully that'll work. If it doesn't, we'll fall back and use the fly-by-wire version. Right. Here we go. We'll see what it does. Hopefully it does the right thing. What's going on? Parking brake is off. Set the brake so it can lift. There we go. Then release the brake to let it move. R.I.P. that lorry. Okay, so at what point is it going to stop? Feels like it's slowing down. Well, credit where credit's due, that was amazing. That worked really, really well. Big fan of that. That's cool. Cheers, Tug. Okay. Now we're pushed back. Engines back onto selector mode, back onto normal. APU bleed off. APU master off because now we're running on our engines. Auto brake set to max. Flaps are already set to 1. Ground spoilers are armed. We'll do our strobes to on. Taxi. Alrighty. Let's go for a little taxi. So the route should be quite simple. It's just literally straight out of here, do a left, and then the runway's on our left. Do a right, sorry, then the runway's on our left. Alright, let's go. So I've spent the weekend working on a 737 livery. I'm so pleased with how it's gone. So pleased. Where's the taxi light on the plane? At the risk of outing myself as being stupid, I don't actually know. There's a video I keep meaning to watch. It's by 320 SimPilot. It's basically all about lights. When you need to put the lights on, what lights you need to put on, their different purpose. So yeah, that's on my to watch list for definite. Get out of the way. Yeah, so the livery is actually different to the one we have on this A320. Like I say, I figured like we've been doing this a year now, give or take. Or I have. The streams didn't start till kind of... Have I gone the wrong way? Or was that plane just in the way? Oh, Bevy's fixed his account. Good for you. How does it feel? If that plane doesn't move, we're just going to have to go around it, aren't we? Honestly, like the ground vehicles on this are just... Sometimes I wonder whether I'm better off just turning them off, because they just get in the way. They're just so dumb. I don't mind the ones that are parked. I think the ones that are parked look quite good. It's nice to see a terminal full of plane tails kind of lined up. I like all that, but just like the way the buses move around. It's just like, get out of my way, please. So yeah, we've got a brand new livery for the 737. And the next job, I've got a couple more jobs to do on it. On the little shark clip bits on the wing, end of the wing, I need to get my air knot logo on them. Well, I have them on them, but the trouble is it's like it's all upside down and skew if, so I need to figure that one out. And then the next job is to do the same job again on the A320. So get this livery up to date. I'm going to redo the stream graphics, so the overlay will look, rather than just looking like a load of stuff at the top, it will look significantly more on brand. Just trying to up my game a little bit in that sense. So what we had's been great, and it served us well for like the first year, but I kind of feel like we're due a bit of an upgrade. I tell you what, if you stick around after the landing, I'll go into the hangar and you can have a sneak peek at the livery if you want. I wish I knew how to make my own livery. Yeah, so do I. Trust me, I don't know what I'm doing. It's been more just so much trial and error. I had to download Photoshop. That's how bad things got. I tried to do it with like the free graphic design software, and it's like, oh, I just can't even. Should be about 1 hour 50, 1 hour 54 it estimates. We'll get turned around fairly quick and get gone. Here's our runway just there. Yeah, I figure once we get the 737 done and the A320 done, those are like our two main aircraft, aren't they, really? The only other one, I suppose, is the headwind A330 we sometimes use for longer haul stuff. So I've got the paint kit for that as well, so I'm going to try and do that as well. The trouble is, the paint kits are all different. Why is there a hut there? Did the AI kind of mess up on that? I think it probably did, didn't it? I think the hardest bit of making a livery is getting the panels to match. So, in the context of the 737, I got my kind of patterns going down the side of the plane, but then it transitions into the tail, and it's like, well, how does it transition into the tail? You just kind of got to keep jiggling stuff around until it eventually lines up. Have I flown any smaller planes in the sim? Not on stream, but you know, I have done. You know, I did that thing that everyone does when you first get the sim. You fly over your house in a small little plane and see if you can see it. Of course, I couldn't, but. Okay, let's get our lights on. Takeoff config normal, that's good. Let's get out there and line up and let's go. No point hanging around, is there? One aircraft I would be interested in, Jalise, would be the Honda Jet. I think that looks quite cool. We've got the Vision Jet, cool. Yeah, I'd maybe like to get into some smaller jets, like maybe... I don't know. Sort of like your private jet looking style things, or maybe something that if you go into a more obscure airport, you'd go on a smaller plane. Those kind of things, you know. You can maybe do some more interesting routes and approaches in those, because generally the bigger stuff just go into the big old airports that are straightforward. Right, I think we're looking good. Takeoff config normal. let's get down to Marseille. Hopefully the weather's a little bit better. Right, toga thrust set. Definitely needing that rudder pedal to keep us on the runway. Wow, lots of rudder pedal to keep us on the runway. That is a strong old wind. Lots of right rudder. And V1, rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Set speed to 210 initially, leave us back to climb. We'll hand fly this first little bit, shall we? Oh yeah, power approach, that would be cool, wouldn't it? That would be very cool. Seeing as it's just a straight line and there's no turns, it seems like there's very little point doing it hand flying. Let's get those flaps away. Yeah, I did do a video. If you look back through my videos on the channel, Jaleese, you will see I did a power landing a long time ago, but it wasn't live. It was just one that I recorded and uploaded. Okay, standard pressure. There's the other one, isn't there? Is it, what's it called? Saba? The one with the super short runway that you get people trying to land like 747s on. Ooh, I know what I need to do. Don't mind me. Alright, that's 11, just gone 10,000 feet. We'll disarm the spoilers. I just pop the screens up like that, so you have to press Alt and click on the instrument panels that you want to view, but not Alt to the left of your spacebar, the Alt to the right of your spacebar, sometimes called Alt GR. So what I do, I get the various different screens on the plane, drag them out to my other monitors, so when we're looking out the window like this that you see, let's get the map up for you all, I can still see what the plane's doing, and I can anticipate any turns or problems or speed. So obviously when you're not looking in the cockpit, you're blind as to what's actually going on. Yeah, maybe we can get some smaller planes on the go soon. We'll make a sub-brand, like Airknot Connect or something like that. Don't Delta do that in real life? They have like a regional kind of branch of the airline. So I guess if you fly in, you know, like on a 767 into LAX, then you want to go to somewhere that's a little bit more obscure, smaller airport, smaller town. They'll run a service in a smaller plane. So just looking on Wikipedia, it looks like Delta they do Delta connection. A lot of CRJs, CRJ 200s, 700s, 900s, Rare 170s, 175s. Streaming on Twitch or only YouTube? Only YouTube. Only YouTube. Yeah, I tend not to stream over on Twitch. I tried it out. I feel like YouTube, as a creator, YouTube gives me everything that I need. It gives me the ability to make sort of like standard videos. It gives me the ability to make shorts, which can spread like wildfire if they go right. And it gives me the ability to go live, and it gives me the ability to do community posts and polls and all that stuff. It's like I've got everything I need at YouTube. I feel like at Twitch it just does live, and that's it. And for that reason I kind of worry about the longevity of the platform. And I'm not entirely sure I've seen them make a decent policy decision in the last year or two, which again makes me worry about the future of the platform. Morning, Nick. Or good evening, Nick, depending on your time zone. It's morning here. Let me know how the mix is with the music and the stuff, the airplane noise. I can adjust either. So sounds pretty good to me through my headphones, but obviously just let me know. I can change it. Have I ordered that new GPU yet? No, I haven't. I really want to, but I haven't. Yeah, I keep looking at the. I do keep looking at the graphics cards. But I just can't bring myself to do it. It just feels like they're a lot of money this time round. An awful lot of money this time round. I mean, I overpaid for my 3070 that I have now. And I was a little bit grumpy at the time. But actually, looking back, it was like I got a deal. In the broader context of the market and the time that we were in. I mean, Nvidia walked out on stage and they said the Nvidia 3070 starts at 469. So I was like, sweet, because that's like as fast as a 2080 Ti for less than half the price. Like, where do I sign? Give me one of those. But of course, like, COVID happened, or COVID was an ongoing thing at that point. The supply chain was struggling, Bitcoin mining was becoming more and more of a thing. It was like a perfect storm. And in the end I picked one up for 600. I was like, damn it, I overpaid by 130, that's annoying. But the cost of not having it was almost greater than the cost of overpaying, because I had this entire system built, just no graphics card to put in it. Whereas this time around, it feels like things are a little bit more expensive and the value isn't quite there. You know, instead of the 3090 Ti at $500, it's like $800, which is a big difference. I don't know. I'll cave eventually, rest assured. One of these days I'll just let you know that that's happened. Do we have time to fly back this time? No, Nick, unfortunately not. This is a one-way service. As soon as we get to Marseille, you will get kicked out. And you can find your own way home. Sorry. Such a terrible airline. Have you heard anything else about the fly-by-wire A380? No, I have not. I'm waiting with bated breath. It's going to be so cool, isn't it? I feel like it's going to be one of those things that just comes out of nowhere. I kind of feel like working on this livery all weekend has given me a whole new respect for the fly-by-wire team. I mean, make no mistake, I was on it almost all weekend. So on Saturday, like Saturday, I don't normally do much for the channel on a Saturday. Like I don't go live, I don't record any videos. It's kind of like a family day, which is only right in my opinion. But my wife took the kids out for like 3 hours, and I was left on my own. And I was like, well, I could stream, sort of do like a surprise stream, or I could start trying to do some jobs for the channel that I've been meaning to do for ages, but I never get the time to do because any free time I have, I try to put into the channel, so then the other stuff never gets done. I've been meaning to get a livery for the 737 for ages, and I've had one designed. I know what I want it to look like, so that part was done. It wasn't like, what do I want it to look like, and you have to start messing around with ideas and brainstorming. That was all done. I just didn't know how to actually put it on the plane. And like I say, here we are Monday morning, still not done. Then I've got to redo the whole thing for the A320 and possibly the A330. And I think that's our main aircraft sorted at that point. Could maybe do the A310, I suppose. Alright, we are very, very nearly at cruise. So I'll let the passengers out. How hard the A380 will be to fly. I don't know, I kind of feel like it's going to be quite a nice easy one. I kind of feel like the Airbus does quite a lot for you. And if it's built on the same systems as the A320 was, then it stands to reason that it might not be too difficult to fly. Turning south now. Start making our way down towards France. I'm quite interested in the what they call it? It's Aerosoft with their new A330. Be a fun aircraft. And there we go, we are at cruise. With a 40 knot wind coming at us from the west. 747's a good shout, Nick. Yeah, we should do more in that. I feel like I'm kind of half afraid of the Boeings. If I'm being real with you all, I really do feel that. I feel like if I'm in an Airbus, I'm okay. I know what I'm doing, I know the systems, I know what buttons to press. Still feel a little bit apprehensive in the Boeings. Landing a 40-knot crosswind. Wow. I mean, it's going to be windy down there, for sure. Like, we've got live weather on, for better or worse. Let's hope we don't get a repeat of Gatwick like we did last week. That was funny. That was funny. I can't believe it did that. Like, crosswind completely changed direction. Like 800 feet out. Like, what is it doing? Can the sim actually simulate a proper crosswind where you have to turn to go straight? You mean like the crabbing that you do? So yeah, it can. That's the whole idea. So you sort of turn your plane into the wind. So the plane is obviously at a funny angle to the runway, but the plane is tracking over the approach path. And just as you're going to touch down, use the rudder to turn the plane. So if you imagine, Jalise, if you've got a wind, say you're coming into land, and you've got a wind coming at you from the right-hand side, you would turn the plane, obviously that wind would then blow you to the left, and then you wouldn't be anywhere near the runway. So you turn the plane to the right, just the right amount, so the plane is looking to the right, so you're not looking straight at the runway will be over to your left, and the plane will be looking to the right of the runway. But the plane will actually track, if you imagine the centre line extending out from the runway over the ground, you will be tracking over that line, albeit you'll be pointed in the wrong direction. And you maintain that all the way down. Just as you're about to touch down, you would put some left rudder in, which would then turn the plane to bring it back onto the centre line. And it's really difficult to do. I've done it a couple of times successfully, and many times not so successfully, and it may be that we get one today, so you'll get to see. You also have to use the aileron as well. So, going back to the example of plane being pointed to the right of the runway, when you go to correct right at the very end, use your rudder to twist the plane back around to the left. Your right wing is going to be forced through the air, and your left wing is almost going to be moved back through the air. So there's going to be more lift generated on the right wing, because that's the one that's being sort of pushed forward through the air by the plane twisting. It's only slight. So you would then use right aileron, it's almost like turn to the right on your joystick, to kind of counteract that effect. Now the Airbus, I'm led to believe, does it all for you. It's got a system on board that does it. So you don't really need to worry about that on an Airbus, but on a Boeing you would. I watched a crosswind landing the other day, a cockpit view, and you could see the pilot, as soon as he started doing the rudder input, completely turned the rope to the yoke to the right. Have I ever crashed? No. I mean, I've had hard landings. and landings that wouldn't be considered safe in real life, but haven't actually sort of crashed or flipped over or anything. Yeah, crosswind landings is one of those things where you've just got to keep doing it. And I'm not here like, I know I'm explaining to you about it, almost giving the impression that I know a lot about them, but I still struggle, really struggle with it. It's one of those things that you feel, once you feel that you've got the plane locked over that centre line, and obviously you're not pointed at the runway, but you can feel that you're tracking on the right path to the runway, you sort of get that feel that it's locked in and you've got to kind of hold it. But you've got to keep in mind that the wind can change, so if you're at 1,000 feet, the wind might be quite strong. By the time you get down nearer the ground, the wind might die down a little bit, it might be stronger, so you can't just lock in a crab angle and just keep it all the way down. You need to sort of be dynamically working with it all the way down. That's why it's such a hard thing to do. Let's just check in on the wind actually at Marseille and see if we'll maybe get one of these. I can embarrass myself in front of you all. So we're going in on runway 31. It's actually looking quite nice now, the wind's died right down. 31 right we're coming in on, and the wind is at 340, so a 30-degree difference, and it's only 7 knots. So actually that might not be so bad. FS Realistic. It's funny you mention that. I was looking at that at the weekend. I only sort of really want it so you get like a camera shake when you land. That's all I want it for. I don't really know what else it can do beyond that. Like in my head it's just the thing that makes the camera shake when you land. I'm guessing it does a lot of other stuff too. I was thinking of hiring a voice actor on like Fiverr or something like that, to do us like a proper air knot safety announcement. You know, like a welcome aboard this air knot flight to... Well, I'll probably have to keep it quite generic, rather than be like, welcome aboard this flight from Berlin to Marseille. It'd have to be, welcome aboard this flight. Change how much it moves to make your superhand landings look like butter. Oh cool, yeah, I'll definitely get that then. I can defraud you all into thinking I'm a good pilot. Yeah, that's it, sold. That's all I needed to hear. Not a million miles from Frankfurt, are we? Hey, no worries, Elise. Take it easy. Maybe see you in a bit. And on that note, I'm going to go make a cup of coffee so you can all enjoy the chill vibes, and I'll be back shortly. Alright, I'm back. So, it's really cold outside. I'm hearing rumours it's going to be like -10 this week here. Ugh. So what are we at? About a little under an hour to go. That's not too bad. I must admit, I am slightly relieved to hear that the wind has died down in Marseille. That was that could have been a problem. I feel like I haven't had a good landing in some time on this. I tried to do a landing into Heathrow off stream, just for the fun of it, really. And I don't know what was going on, but the plane was shaking. Absolutely shaking, left, right, up, down on approach. It was like the plane was being, or the sim was being fed two different sets of weather information. Almost like they were completely opposing weather data. So you can imagine one was like wind from the left, one was wind from the right, and it was just going, ah. Hopefully that doesn't happen today. Yeah, I definitely feel like my patience is being tested with live weather at the moment. You know, now might be a good time actually to start planning our top of descent. So, 446 miles to run. At what point do we need to start doing stuff? Here we go. 15,000. I'm going to ignore the fact that it's gone back up there. I don't know why it does that. Now, how many miles to Seasonic? $379. And that is roughly as the crow. That is how the crow flies. So it's not actual truck miles. I guess we could work it out. Add it all up. I'm surprised there isn't a feature to do that. I'm seem short-sighted about this. Okay, 45. Add 140. Add 51. Add 47. Add 140, add... oh, damn it, done it wrong. Okay, 43, 140, 51, 47, 31, 33, 36, 14, 15. It's 410. What does this make it? Bit of FPS drop there. That's not good. Alright, so 37,000 feet. And we need to get down to 15,000. 2,000 feet per minute. 75 miles. So we need to keep that in mind. And what's the difference between what it thinks it is and what it is? 50 miles. So really that is saying 365, but it's actually like 405. So what's an easy way to work it out? We need 75 miles. So we do 15, so it's 29. 35, 65. Yeah, so in between, we've got about 10 miles left on this one. That's when we do it. Still, that's a while away yet. Can't wait for VNAV. VNAV's going to make it so much easier. Like, we literally won't have to do what we just did. Much like you don't have to in the 737. The plane can work out where it needs to be at what waypoint, and it works out when it needs to start descending and at what rate and at what speed. It's remarkable stuff. Love it. Morning, Zayan. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. I say good morning. I have no idea what time zone you're in, but it's morning for me. Hey, Watermelon, how's it going? Nice to see you. Sorry if your message was there for a while. I was editing some video on my laptop while the cruise was in progress. Figured I'd attempt multitasking. Something else when you got recommended I was streaming. Oh, nice. It's nice to see the YouTube algorithm is doing this thing. I sometimes wonder whether it's out to get me. How long is today's flight? So roughly about 2 hours, and we are about 30 minutes out. So it was Berlin. We're going down to Marseille in the south of France. So you can see on the mini-map, not too far to go. Let's have a look. 256 miles out. And as for the weather on the ground, 300 degrees and 7 knots. So that should actually be quite nice, because we're coming in on runway 31, which is 310 degrees. So really there's not a lot of difference between the direction of the wind and our direction of travel on final approach, and the wind is only 7 knots, so it's not a huge amount to worry about. Not much, which is good, because I don't like crosswinds. We don't like crosswinds. Hey, how's it going? How fun indeed. So it's not going to be that long, and we're going to need to think about starting, at least thinking about when we're going to descend. get beneath this cloud, hopefully see what's going on. They said there would be lightning. Who's they? Main thing I'm thinking about is the wind, and I think we're going to get away with the wind. We should get away with it. 300 degrees, 7 knots. We're landing at 310 degrees, so that's not a lot of difference. It's only a 10 degree delta. We should be good. I'm guessing that's going to be more of a tailwind, so we will need to watch our flare. Definitely need to watch the flare. Okie dokie. Hey look, the clouds are ending, that's good. Might be able to actually see something out the window. So 142 miles away from where we need to be at 15,000, I think it was. Yeah. And according to our top of descent calculations, we need 81 miles to get there. So 15, 29, 65. So when this one here becomes 20, we should be in business and start our descent. That'll get us out right on time. So we've got 34, 31, so 65. Got about 78 miles before top of descent. So 78, we've got 186. So about 112. When our distance to the destination is about 112, we'll start descending. Should be about right. We certainly don't want to start descending over these mountains. Need to stay nice and high. Could get bumpy. Beautiful sky, beautiful clouds. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we're being asked to enter our destination data by the flight computer. So let's go ahead and do that. Ah, Jalees, you're back. Good to see you. We're just entering our destination data. So 1002 is local pressure. Temperature on the ground is 10 and 280 and 7, so that wind is shifting. Was it 10 degrees? Yeah, it was. We should get away with it on the landing, I think. Oh, look at that view. This is where it gets bumpy. So we're coming in on runway 31 right. So 31 right means it's 310 degrees, which is only 30 degrees off what the wind direction is, and the speed is only 7, so should get away with it. nice to live in that valley, wouldn't it? So we're about 40 miles away from top of descent at the moment. Then we'll start making our way down. Ooh, it's getting a bit lumpy bumpy, look at that. What a view, look at that. I know it's only a game, but they did a good job, right? They really did a good job. Okay, so we're 10 miles away from top of descent. I'm hoping for a good landing. I feel like the last few landings I've done on here off stream haven't really gone too well, to the point where I was like, ooh, thank goodness that wasn't on stream. So we'll see how today goes. Time. 15,000 feet, please and thank you. 2,000 feet per minute. Let's click the button. And we should, there we go, vertical speed minus 2,000, and now the plane is starting to make its way down. There we go. Very nice indeed. So we're probably looking at about an 8, maybe 8.5 minutes of descent. There we go, we can just see the coast. So let's look at our plan in, because it's a little bit disjointed. So Marseille the airport is dead ahead of us. We're going to cut off autopilot at this point and go into heading select mode. So we'll tell the plane to come along here and then back and in. So yeah, we'll sort of come along parallel to the airport and box it off and come in on final. And that should be that. And there's Marseille right ahead of us. Just kind of there. Just checking on the weather. Now we're getting a little bit closer. 280 and 7, staying the same, that's good. Love to see it. Should hopefully be a relatively easy approach, providing it doesn't change on us. If live weather doesn't do its live weather thing like it sometimes does. You never know. You never know. So once we get to our waypoint of 15,000 feet, the next one is 2,000. Plane's getting a bit bumpy. Random question, but what's your favourite chip flavour? Oh, as a question, maybe like a cheese and onion or sour cream and chive, any sort of like cheesy based flavour generally. I'm kind of like a big mouse. Here we go. So we are 18,000 feet, coming up on 15. Marseille's right ahead of us. So there's the airport there, 3-1. So we'll fly the inverse of 3-1, so sort of take off 180 from that. Bring us along nice and straight. So go to 1-3, I presume. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? 130 heading. Come along here, in and around, easy peasy. It would, Jalees, you're quite right, but that wouldn't be proper now, would it? And also would be... Well, I don't suppose the wind would be an issue, would it? Still, I take your point. But it was what SimBrief suggested. So... Right, I think what we'll do, we'll get ourselves down to 11,000. And at 11,000 we will get our speed under control before we head down further towards the 2,000 target that we need to be at before we come on to final approach. Definitely feeling quite bumpy. Can we see the airport? Fairly certain that's not it. I thought Marseille airport was more like down there. Unless I've picked the wrong airport, of course. Entirely possible. Well, we'll soon see. So autopilot's going to disconnect. Well, I say autopilot, the managed heading select is going to disconnect. Speed will be kept on track, our descent will be kept on track. We'll go into a managed heading select mode. There it goes. So we'll go heading 130. That should bring us out parallel with the runway. There we just require a little bit of a crab to keep us where we want to be. So we'll add 6 degrees. So instead of 130 we'll do 136, and now our track is on 130. Otherwise we'll drift off course, we don't want that. Right, we're 250 knots, that's good. Let's get down to 2,000. Highly likely we're going to need some speed brakes because the wind is now sort of turning more into a tailwind. There's the airport there. Feet. Let's get our lights sorted out. We'll do auto brake medium today. There we go. So if we use our direct to function, this kind of shows you where it's going to bring us in, but it's sort of cutting the corner a little bit, so we need to come a little bit further on. I'd rather come back more at an angle and then catch this one, so we've got a complete glide slope to work with. Okay, landing system on, ready to go. That's looking better now. Have I done an RNAV approach? No, I haven't actually, and I was thinking about that the other day. I was thinking I really should. Yeah, there's no reason not to, really, is there?
Two 2,500.
Blimey, it's getting windy. What's going on? Yeah, that is getting windy out there. For sure. Go. Gear down. Yeah, you're right, Julie. So it'd be cool to try us an ILS, RNAV, sorry. Okay, that's our approach speed sorted. It's intercepted the glide slope, that's good. And we're just waiting on the localizer. Quite a steep approach.
2,500.
Okay, gear down, 3 greens. Laps full. Spoilers armed, landing lights are on. Look at those lumps. So the wind is coming at us from our left. Wow, that's windy. That's really bumpy. This could be interesting. No laughing in the back, alright? So usually, Jalise, we're talking about the crabbing earlier, the runway would sort of be aligned about here, but obviously we've got this wind, so you can see it's more in line here on the dashboard, as it were.
One thousand. 1,000. 1,000.
That's because of the hills. Right, what is that wind going to be doing then? So it's quite a strong wind at the moment, I would argue. Alright, my aircraft.
1,000.
Wow, this is bumpy. Just a little touch on the low side, but I'd rather that than the other way.
500.
So 500 feet, I'm going to start looking more out the window than I am at the
400.
Instruments at this point. Plenty of runway before the pappies.
300. 200. 100.
Coming in a bit low.
50. 40. 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Not bad. Whoa, yeah, definitely using those rudder pedals there. Oh, wow. Not bad. That was really hard, actually, though. That, for what I thought was going to be an easy landing, that was actually quite challenging. That was very, very, very windy on the way in. Gusty, rather than a constant, sort of persistent wind, that was gusty. So just when you think you had it on the centre line there. Oh, Watermelon, you just missed it. That's right, you can scrub back. And I'll put shorts up on the channel anyway of it. R.I.P. Watermelon. Yeah, that was a very, very gusty approach, that. Had that wind been steady, you could have kind of tracked it, but it was the gusts that were like throwing us around. We've also got those hills on the way in there. So they're essentially like ramps for the wind to come and cause us problems, which it definitely did. That was good fun though. I like it when you get a challenging one like that. I mean, I'm less likely to kind of get the butter, as it were. Oh, 737 sneak. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. That is a good idea. I think also what I need to keep in mind, that was actually, there was a lot of runway before the touchdown zone, and I found myself focusing on the runway that was before the... Where are the gates? Ah! Let's just go this way. Am I streaming Tuesday mornings and evenings? Probably just the evening tomorrow. Well, definitely just the evening. If I stream at all, it'll be the evening. Just because I know that I definitely cannot stream in in the morning. It's got to be something, right? Get the APU bleed on. Alright, executive decision. We're parking here and the bus can come and get you all. Ryanair style. I'm not sure what this line really does. I mean, I should be parked here. This is fine. This will do. Right. How strange. Anyway, who wants a sneak peek at the 737 livery? Whoops, wrong window. Don't mind me. Right, let's jump into the menu then. Where do I go? Main menu. Let's go and have a look. Let's have a sneak peek. I'll show you what I've been up to. Let's go into the hangar. So that's our A320. And if we go to... Great flight, by the way. Cheers. Tricky towards the end, though. It kept us on our toes. Like I say, that wasn't like a nice, easy one all the way in, and then you get a nice butter. That was a fight to get that one down. So PMDG, this is their normal livery. And here is mine. Excuse the yellow-orange thingy. Here we go. So as you can see on the wingtips there, the bit where it says air not are the wrong way, so I need to fix that. Might actually be easiest if we just spawn at an airport, because then I can show you properly with the drone camera. Let's just spawn here. Set as departure. You can have a better look, because in the hangar it just sort of pans around randomly. Let's get rid of the stats. You guys can have a look then. Ready to fly. Here we go. Camera. Showcase. Camera drone. There we go. So this side's okay. If you look at the wingtip there, that looks all good. It took me so long to get all of this lined up so the stripes would go on the bodywork all the way to the tail. Then this side, yeah, that one needs flipping. That needs like inverting around, doesn't it? So the A is at the bottom, and this side it went wrong as well. Oh no, this one's okay. Because, yeah. And that one needs flipping. How do I make the livery? So what you do, in a nutshell, is I downloaded the paint kit. So PMDG give you a paint kit for this plane. And basically it's a bunch of PSD files, so Photoshop files. So I downloaded Photoshop, and then you sort of start painting. But you can't just hit save and it does it. You have to export what you create as textures. So there's a little plugin that Nvidia make that is a plugin for Photoshop, and it will export the textures as DDS files, and then you can save the DDS files yeah, I mean I'm making it sound way simpler than it is. It threw me for about an hour. I was like struggling big time with it. So the plan is to take this same look and do it on our A320 and possibly our A330, because I know we sometimes use that for longer haul stuff, and I would like to start doing some of the long haul flights again. So that's the plan. That's kind of the new look for this year anyway. As you can see, I've made some mistakes. I don't know what that bit of paint's doing there on the tail. I need to get rid of that somehow. But yeah, 90% of the way there, just a few small tweaks, and it'll be done. Can I do an opening flight thing for the first flight? Yeah, I mean, I guess we can start using this fairly soon. But yeah, I think this looks more like what you'd expect to find on an actual plane versus what we currently have on the A320. I mean, the A320, it's great, it's done as well, and it is a good place to get started, but I think ultimately it was all I could really do at the time with my ability, but now I've practiced a little bit. Like, this livery was harder to pull off than the one I've got on the A320 for sure. But there we go, sneak peek. As for when we're going to be live next, I'm going to aim for tomorrow night, probably around 7 PM UK time, so you'll have to work out what that is in your own time zone, because I'm not doing it for you. But yeah, that should be that. I'm not sure where we're going to go, not sure what we're going to do, not sure what plane we're going to go in. It'd be nice if this was finished by then, because I really do need to get some practice in on the 737, because I am weak on it at the moment. If I zoom in, will it do like the whole camera focus thing? Yeah, look at that. Damn, it looks good. Love it. Anyway, I'll let you all get on with your day or evening or whatever it is you're doing, and I'll look forward to hopefully bumping into you on the next stream. Thanks very much for your company today. Always appreciate it. Obviously, don't worry if you can't make the evening streams. I appreciate that. Different ends of the day for different people, so that's all good. Wednesday we'll be back at this time, Wednesday morning. So same again on Wednesday. And I'll leave it there. You all have a good one. Look after yourselves. I'll see you soon.